call him, Nicole Murphy, about to get all my little Fox money, Joy. All of that little old money I can get. But hey, go ahead. Hey, I don't even want no check. When I was growing up, the man worked hard. Friday, he get his paycheck. He bring it home and get it to mama.
All about chemistry. If he's funny, got a great personality, if he can win my heart, hey, who knows?
Is that for some reason people come to me and I don't look at them with judgy eyes. I have no predetermined notion or preconceived notions, and they open up to me.
Have you ever wondered what really went down with Shannon Sharpe and Nicole Murphy? Yeah, that's right. Eddie Murphy's wife.
Murphy's account.
You're dating Nicole Murphy?
Oh, stop it, Skip.
Well, I didn't know that.
Put my business
I
out there on
learn
the street.
things every day on this show that I'm not aware of.
So did Shannon Sharpe get a little too close for comfort? Is it possible that Eddie, with his immense clout in Hollywood, decided to put the brakes on Shannon's career?
And I'm glad it did. I understand what comes along with that. But if you remember,
Let's just think about it. Eddie's a powerhouse in the industry, capable of making or breaking careers with just a few phone calls. So could he have been the invisible hand behind Shannon's sudden blacklisting?
Producer, and he's shaking his head. I'm like, oh man, we done messed.
Shannon Sharpe has always been known for his outspoken nature and larger-than-life personality. It's part of what made him so successful, both on the field and off.
He knows why liars lie, and that's why I had to come on the program. Cedric did the same thing. Cedric told you when you asked him, did you steal Cat Williams' joke? Yeah. He said, it don't line up.
But when you cross paths with someone as influential as Eddie Murphy, things can take a dark turn. Remember when those rumors about Shannon and Nicole started swirling?
All about chemistry. If he's funny, got a great personality, if he can win my heart, hey, who knows?
No. I ask her for an account number. I say I want to put something in your account twice a month.
The chemistry was undeniable, but did it cross a line? Did Eddie see Shannon as more than just a professional threat?
Conveying that message, that was easy for me to do. I have a son, 24 years old too, and 123. So I was like, and anybody, a man is not really married.
And what about Shannon Sharpe's podcast cancellation? Coincidence or something more sinister? How does a popular podcast just disappear overnight? Did Eddie Murphy pull some strings to make it happen? It's not like Eddie's shy about protecting his turf. Could his influence be so far-reaching that he managed to silence Shannon's voice entirely?
What did I say?
Yeah.
Did I say something? He like, this is gonna be the talk of 24.
No way.
But let's not forget, Shannon Sharpe isn't just anyone. He's a former NFL star with a massive following. So why would his podcast get axed so abruptly?
How few people that's in this space that interview people that don't get 10 million.
For sure.
So if I get 10 million, that's one of the biggest podcasts. Now, that's not Joe Rogan's numbers, but that's pretty good for an up-and-coming podcast.
Was there a power play involved? Did Eddie Murphy decide that Shannon Sharpe was too much of a threat to his personal life? It's all too coincidental, don't you think?
Sharpe said a lot of people started to hate on him because of, that interview going up like that.
But why would they hate on him?
Cause you hate when you start all that, how much.
I get it though, but
Shannon's podcast was a big hit since he interviewed Cat Williams and Steve Harvey, attracting thousands of listeners with its engaging content and bold commentary. But suddenly, without warning, it was canceled. The official reason? Creative differences.
When he said this, you should have asked him. You know what I'm saying? I think he sat up there and saw all these people lying, and I'm gonna expose all of y'all for all of y'all.
But come on, we all know that's just PR speak. What really happened behind the scenes? Did Eddie Murphy, with his deep connections in the industry, decide it was time to teach Shannon a lesson? Was the cancellation a calculated move to cut Shannon off from his fan base and diminish his influence?
Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharpe, crushed the buildings.
he did.
10 million in a day. And counting, still going up.
We all know Hollywood is a place where alliances are formed and broken in the blink of an eye. Eddie Murphy has been around long enough to know how to play the game. It seems entirely plausible that he used his power to orchestrate a smear campaign against Shannon Sharpe.
That people tune in to watch my pod because they want to hear what the guests have to say. I let the guests spread.
We've seen it happen before. Careers derailed by whispers and rumors, all originating from someone with a vendetta, and this time Shannon appears to be the latest victim of this ruthless world. The timing is too perfect to ignore. Shannon's podcast was hitting its stride, gaining momentum and popularity. Shutting it down at its peak seems too calculated to be a mere coincidence. Eddie Murphy, seeing Shannon's rising star as a direct threat to his own legacy, could have decided to nip it in the bud. With his extensive connections and influence, he had all the tools necessary to make it happen.
5 days is long enough for your kids to start second-guessing your authority. 3 days into that, my son walked up to me and was like, hey, so why we gotta listen to you?
In a world where Hollywood's elite can make or break careers, it is highly plausible that Eddie Murphy had a hand in Shannon Sharpe's downfall. The behind-the-scenes machinations of Hollywood are often shrouded in secrecy, but the pattern is clear. Eddie Murphy's troubled marriage with Nicole Murphy and the rumored connection between Nicole and Shannon could have sparked this entire debacle. Eddie, using his considerable power, may have orchestrated a swift and decisive response to protect his image and legacy.
Angry with me because I was always, I had to go do this.
Eddie Murphy and Nicole Mitchell Murphy were married from 1993 to 2006. Their marriage was a high-profile one, as Murphy is a famous actor and comedian, and Mitchell is a model and actress. The couple had 5 children together. The marriage was reportedly troubled at times, and the couple divorced in 2006. However, they have remained on good terms and have co-parented their children successfully. The divorce of Eddie Murphy and Nicole Mitchell Murphy was a highly publicized event due to their high-profile status in the entertainment industry. The divorce proceedings were widely reported on by the media, and the details of the settlement were made public. The divorce had a significant impact on the couple's lives and careers. Eddie Murphy's public image was tarnished by the divorce, and he faced criticism for his behavior during the marriage. Nicole Mitchell Murphy also faced public scrutiny and had to deal with the emotional and financial challenges of being a single mother. The divorce also had a ripple effect on the entertainment industry. It led to increased speculation about the private lives of celebrities and raised questions about the stability of marriages in Hollywood. The divorce also highlighted the challenges that celebrity couples face in maintaining their relationships in the public eye. The divorce of Eddie Murphy and Nicole Mitchell Murphy is a reminder of the fragility of even the most high-profile marriages. It also highlights the challenges that celebrities face in maintaining their privacy and protecting their relationships from public scrutiny. But did you know why this divorce was done? Back in May 1997, Eddie Murphy was 4 years deep into his marriage with Nicole when things took a wild turn. Picture this, it's 4:45 in the morning, and Eddie gets pulled over by the cops. Why? Because he was caught picking up a trans SP named Adesoni Sayuli, also known as Shalimar. And get this, he was cruising around in his Toyota Land Cruiser near a well-known spot for, well, you know, some shady activities along Santa Monica Boulevard in West Hollywood.
Pretty Hawaiian girl in the corner crying. It looks like she was crying. She goes, oh, Eddie Murphy. She noticed him at the light. She recognized Eddie Murphy. Oh my God. So I go on.
It was 2 years after the Hugh Grant scandal involving Divine Brown and 6 years post Paul Rubin's adult theater incident. The public was ripe for another potential S scandal, especially one hinting at Eddie Murphy's S, as outing stars was becoming a trend in the late 90s. Murphy, then a 36-year-old movie icon, transitioning smoothly from Saturday Night Live to major Hollywood films like Beverly Hills Cop and Trading Places, found himself in a situation that raised eyebrows. He wasn't arrested or charged when pulled over by police 2 miles after picking up Sayuli, who identified as female despite being born male and was dressed accordingly. Although questioned by deputies, no illegal activity was found to have taken place. However, his passenger, a person described by police as a known trans SLP, was arrested on an outstanding P warrant. Murphy emerged from the incident unscathed legally, but his explanation, courtesy of his publicist, didn't exactly win him any points. His spokesperson stated that Murphy was simply giving the P a ride home, saying, "She asked him for a ride, and Eddie did so, like he had helped people in the past." Speaking to CNN, Eddie reportedly said, "I was trying to be a good Samaritan, and this is what happens." The incident turned Murphy into a punchline. Even SNL got in on the joke with a sketch featuring Tim Meadows, as Eddie doing community service by saving a trans S. Despite his career resurgence with The Nutty Professor, Murphy found himself needing damage control. He granted an interview to People magazine with his lawyer Marty Singer, yes, the same guy who represented Bill Cosby, present.
So what's the deal? And she said, well, the deal is that Eddie Murphy's lawyer, Marty Singer, who's in the news these days for other things.
Eddie recounted that Nicole and their kids were away, and he couldn't sleep, so he went for a late-night drive to buy magazines. I saw this Hawaiian-looking woman and said, "What are you doing out here?" She said, "I'm working," Murphy recalled of his encounter with the American Samoan Shalimar. I said, "You shouldn't be doing that, soliciting." And bada bing, "I'm never giving anyone a lift again." Murphy clarified that he thought Addison was a girl, but he emphasized, "That's not even the issue. It wasn't like I was looking for someone. It was a person I assumed was a girl at the corner." He admitted feeling embarrassed about the situation, but asserted, "I'm not sitting around depressed going, oh, people are going to think I'm not Eddie anymore. I'm not a man. I know I'm a man. I'm a man. I'm not ever on the 50 most wonderful list, but I'm not a degenerate either." The Coming to America star launched into explaining how he saw himself as an undercover Good Samaritan. What people don't know is, for years and years at night, I'd get in my car. I'd drive all over Manhattan. I'd give derelicts money, he claimed. I'd stop and talk to homeless people. I'd go to corners where there are pee and give them $5,000 and $10,000 to go home and get off the street. When I'm doing something charitable, I'm not doing it for publicity. It's out of the goodness of my heart. However, Murphy followed that with a bizarre comment about scrubbing the car clean after Sayuli was taken away by police, which didn't quite align with his previous statements of being a big-hearted humanitarian. "I'm obsessive-compulsive with cleanliness," he said. "After I got home, I wiped off the door handle and the stuff that person had touched." The People article pointed out some inconsistencies in Murphy's story, noting that he claimed to be driving Sayuli home, yet they were pulled over after passing his residence. But Murphy wasn't the only one speaking out. Sayuli had her say too. The National Enquirer allegedly paid her $15,000 bail in exchange for her story. Sayuli reportedly told the tabloid in an article titled "Eddie Murphy's Secret S Life." His transvestite hooker tells all that she was soliciting when Murphy drove up. According to her account, Murphy placed two $100 bills on her leg in the car and asked if she likes wearing lingerie. When Sayuli said yes, Murphy supposedly asked, "Can I see you in lingerie?" I told him, "Whenever I have the time." He said, "I'll make the time." Sayuli also claimed they discussed their S preferences, to which she replied, "Everything." Murphy responded by suing the National Enquirer and the Globe for $5 million each, citing libel, slander, and invasion of privacy. As they published interviews with Trans P, more than one came forward, alleging S relations with the actor. Eventually, he settled with the Globe and dropped the suit against the National Enquirer, though he had to cover the tabloid's legal fees. Additionally, Murphy sued Sayuli's talkative cousin for $1 million for speaking to the tabloids. The outcome of that lawsuit remains unclear.
Marriage and blew up in my face, basically, with that. And I'm never giving anyone a lift again.
During their divorce, there were rumors that the scandal might resurface as they negotiated their settlement with Nicole, allegedly seeking more money, but that never came to fruition. However, she faced further financial woes when a con man later swindled her out of $10 million of her divorce settlement. Moreover, the ex-girlfriend of New Edition and LSG singer Johnny Gill spoke out about their recent breakup. She told Atlanta gossip reporter Tiffany Long that Johnny struggled and that Hollywood pressured him to appear heterosexual. Other sources told Atlanta Gossip that Johnny Gill was actually living in a guest house on Eddie Murphy's property in California. People had warned her years ago about the down low rumors, including one of her close family members, but she chose not to believe it until she witnessed it herself. Eddie had reached a point where he didn't care anymore. He often told her he was the breadwinner and to stop asking him stupid questions about where he was going and who he was with. He became so brazen that Johnny would come over to their house every holiday, sitting at the head of the table with Nicole and the kids. Tevin Campbell, Sugar Ray Leonard, Tyler Perry, and Shemar Moore were also heavily involved in this scenario. They tried to recruit Mike Tyson when he had money, but it wasn't his scene. Johnny was seen as pathetic. Despite being with all these men, he did not benefit. Before he reunited with New Edition, he was so broke that he lived in Sugar Ray's guest house, and people suggested his wife wasn't too happy about it. Sources said that at the New Edition album release party, Johnny got extremely drunk and made a pass at P. Diddy. They also stated that the following gentlemen were involved in their circle of DL brothers: Arsenio Hall, football player Johnny Morton, and Benny Medina. They said that the reason his wife stayed pregnant was so she wouldn't be suspicious of his extracurricular activities. And when Diddy's parties were mentioned, people already knew what happened there, and Eddie being there did not seem fine to his fans. One person wrote, "Murphy says he has often stopped to try to help Peas." Yeah, okay. Another one added, "Eddie lying his A off." So is that why Nicole divorced him and maybe she got involved with Shannon? But Sharpe's fall from grace seems suspiciously swift and orchestrated. Eddie Murphy, with his deep industry roots and strategic mind, could very well have been the puppet master pulling the strings from the shadows. The narrative fits too well with Hollywood's history of behind-the-scenes power plays and vendettas. Shannon Sharpe's career disruption appears less like a series of unfortunate events and more like a deliberate takedown orchestrated by one of the industry's most influential figures. In Hollywood, nothing is ever as it seems, and Eddie Murphy's potential involvement adds a layer of intrigue and darkness to the story.
That's what they're upset about, because if you look at a lot of these people that's been on other podcasts, they don't do the views that they do when they come on Club Shay Shay.
Correct.
In a recent chat, Shannon opened up about all the wild stuff he's been dealing with ever since Cat Williams' interview blew up earlier this year. He had a talk with Cam Newton and shared why celebs feel so at ease spilling all their secrets on his podcast. Shannon said that before every interview, he lets his guests know they don't have to touch on any topics they're not cool with, which makes them comfy enough to share their own stories.
I said, is there anything that you don't want to talk about? I always ask the guests that. Sometimes they say, well, I would appreciate if we not talk about this. Right. Cool, no.
He mentioned that he believes you can share your story without bringing in any negativity. But he also thinks that if someone's been in the business for a long time, like 10, 15, 20, or 30 years, they probably have more than one interesting story. While he gets it, if someone wants to skip those tales, he doesn't feel it's his place to stop them from sharing if they want to.
So if they say they want to stay away from it, but if they want to tell something, who am I to say, nah, don't do, you can't tell that. Right. People are, Cam.
In his recent interview, Shannon tackled the criticism from people saying he's not a real journalist. He clarified that he's never seen himself that way. Shannon shared that he had been trying to get Cat on the podcast for about a year. He happened to meet Cat's new manager, who connected him with Cat. Just a week later, Cat was on Club Shay, spilling a lot of industry secrets. Cat knew his revelations would shake things up, and he made that very clear during the interview.
They all coming.
No, they ain't.
Are you kidding?
Nah.
Hey, I promise
good thing
you.
I done got all the rest of them. I done got the ones.
I promise you, everybody trying to double back. You're gonna be having to be.
And Cat was right about the industry's reaction. While Shannon was riding high on Club Shay's success, he noticed that some folks in the industry weren't too happy and were trying to sabotage his podcast. Some celebrities were upset by Shannon's achievements and started labeling him and Club Shay as troublemakers, accusing him of stirring up drama in Hollywood because of the Cat Williams interview. Insiders even said that big names like Oprah and Diddy were allegedly making moves to discourage other celebrities from appearing on Club Shay. So it seems like Eddie is not the only one behind Shannon. Shannon's conflict with Oprah began when he invited Monique to Club Shay. During her appearance, Monique openly criticized Oprah, calling her a narcissistic manipulator. She accused both Oprah and Tyler Perry of cheating her and blackballing her career simply because she refused to do something outside her contract. Monique and Oprah have had a long-standing feud. It started during their collaboration on the movie Precious, when Monique decided not to participate in an unpaid, unscheduled press tour. This decision reportedly angered Oprah, leading her to spread rumors about Monique being difficult to work with. Their conflict has persisted over the years, with Monique being outspoken about how Oprah and Tyler Perry treated her and her career.
Say, baby girl, they said you too difficult to work with. But you hear on the audio that a man told David Talbert I was difficult to work with.
Monique has always raised her voice in the case of being blackballed. She accused many big names of the industry of essentially blackballing her from Hollywood. The Oscar-winning actress, during her comedy routine, got real about the strained relationships with Hewley, Perry, Daniels, and Winfrey. If you recall her role in Daniels' 2010 film Precious, since then, she claims to have only been in 4 films, attributing it to what she describes as their whiteballing. Back in 2015, she initially revealed being blackballed by this trio. A few months back, Monique made waves at the Apollo Theater by airing her grievances about Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, and Oprah Winfrey. She claimed they had essentially blacklisted her from Hollywood, revealing strained relationships during her comedy routine. Monique reflected on her role in Daniels' film Precious, asserting that she'd been in just 4 films since then due to their efforts to sideline her. She had first mentioned being blacklisted by them back in 2015. In response, Daniels told The Hollywood Reporter that Monique's demands during Precious didn't align with the campaign, which strained her Hollywood relationships. He considered her a friend and would consider her for future collaborations, but the creative teams opted for other actors for recent roles. Monique didn't mince words during her Apollo performance, rejecting the term blackballed and alleging she was whiteballed by black individuals without courage. She directly addressed Daniels, Perry, and Winfrey, criticizing their treatment and unequal pay. Regarding the press tour for Precious, which was co-produced by Oprah and Perry, Monique opted out due to lack of compensation and exhaustion. This decision led to her being labeled as difficult and hard to work with, despite her Oscar win for the film. Media stories portrayed her negatively, and she realized she was intentionally sidelined. Despite efforts to reconcile, an apology from Oprah and Perry remains elusive. After the press tour incident, Monique shared on Comedy Central about Oprah inviting her brother Gerald and parents to her show. Monique had confided in Oprah about her strained family relationships due to her brother's actions. Monique agreed to Oprah inviting Gerald, but didn't want to participate. During the taping, Monique was shocked to see commercials featuring her family, feeling betrayed by Oprah's actions. Monique demanded an apology but received none, privately or publicly. She's still waiting for that apology today, especially considering Oprah's friendship with Tyler Perry, which complicates matters.
Said, if you don't want me to have your brother on the show, I will cancel the show. No show will happen. But I wanted to call you up to see how you felt first.
Of course, this didn't sit well with Oprah at all, and it's understandable why. Monique really went in on Oprah during her interview, expressing her grievances openly. Her comments sparked discussions about how Oprah allegedly mistreated Monique. Oprah even criticized Monique for what she perceived as negative energy, saying, "Oh my gosh, it's impossible. It's a law that if you meet negative with negative, you will just have a combusted negative force and negative energy," she said. "You can't meet negative energy where it is. You have to rise above it. You have to transcend it. You can't meet negative energy where it is. You have to rise above it," she said. "You have to transcend it. You have to be the light. It only takes a little bit of light to banish the darkness. So I would never stoop to try to meet somebody where they are negatively. Don't care who they are." After that, Monique faced blacklisting, with many in the industry avoiding working with her due to alleged fears of repercussions from Tyler Perry and Oprah. These two are influential figures in the industry, and when they decide to blacklist someone, it seems to happen. To her credit, Monique has consistently fought against being silenced by the industry. Upon realizing she was being blacklisted, she promptly called out those she believed were responsible.
It's difficult because I said one word, and that was no. Now, I said no to some very powerful people. What Tyler Perry showed me, Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, and Lionsgate.
The wild part about all this is that Monique revealed to Shannon that she only received $50,000 for the movie Precious after extensive negotiations. While $50,000 might seem substantial to regular folks like us in Hollywood, it's considered pocket change that barely covers basic expenses, let alone costs like hair, makeup, and other celebrity essentials. Not to mention taxes, agent fees, legal fees, management costs, and other expenses, which can consume about 80% of an actor's income, as Robin the actress pointed out. Following this logic, Monique likely pocketed around $10,000 from the role, which she described as daylight robbery, plain and simple. However, Oprah is not the only one, because during this interview, Cat Williams also exposed Diddy for trying to get into his bed. Cat told the story of how Diddy tried to put moves on him for a very long time. Anyways, many people believe that Eddie might have ganged up with all of them to eliminate Shannon. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.